When I was at Minot State, I went inside into the wrestling room, and I just did it right in there, just striking the padded walls there during their weight room sessions. And you can do this at any time with it. So all we're doing here, right, we're trying to go as fast on the whistle as we can from a 6-point spot and just strike the wall with it. Okay, so how fast your hands from the ground can go. Get 3 reps, 4 reps, rotate. Okay, here's during our winter team run with it. Same exact principle with it. It's an easy way to steal some reps with it. Get how fast on the whistle we can go, right, to the wall and strike. Okay, good. Now during practice time with it. Again, right, if we don't have the wall, right, we've done it where we've taken the hand shield, right, and your guy will just place it there in front. So again, we can just work the hand quickness and speed. And that shows up more, right, when you're in the box, and you'll see with some of the later drills how important it is with staying clear from it all there. Okay, 6-point extension. All right, so now it's the next step once you're in on the wall with it, right? So we've just done our speed. Now we're working the extension. So this is where I talk about with the guys always about tying in the weight room sessions, right, with our power cleaning, right? So if you look at 30 here, right, you see how he brings his hips through on this here, right? We want to extend and get our hips through. Watch Austin here, 27. Strike, extend. Now you're going to be further away than you were on the 6-point, right, when you're going for speed. Now, that was a good rip right up top there. I can't see who that one is. Was that you, Vince? Nope. Okay, here's a good angle from the side here with it. Right, again, we're trying to get our hips through, so the second guy right here is a good rep of it. Right, he's striking and bringing the hips through. If you look at the second from the top here with Andy, right, he leaves his hips behind on it here. Right, we're going to extend like a power clean every time here. And that's what we're trying to reinforce all the weight room sessions with it through. Yeah, again, we've done it when we haven't been able to use the wall, right, with it, and you tell the guys with the hand shields with it. Okay, now step and strike. Okay, so now we're going to start just right off it, and we're going to take just a 6-inch stab, and we're going to strike our hands. So we time up our punch at all times with it. Again, these are always the day one foundation strike drills that we like to do. Okay, one-man sled. I love the one-man sled. I've been fortunate to be around places where we've been able to use it. Okay, all we're doing the first one is get off my pad. So what we're trying to emphasize here is triple extension. This body posture right now. You see he's jumping out of his cleats, ankles, knees, and hips all aligned together in one motion. For what you want to do with this with your guys, right, you want it's like a boxer, right? You want to have like 6-inch jab. That's how much far away you need to be. When I jab, I just want to get my arms out 6 inches so I can strike it with it. All right, and we're never telling the guys ever to grab the sled on there when we're doing get off our pads. Okay, and here's another rep, right? So this, what I don't like here with Cade on this one, right? You see his hands ends up grabbing the sled. All right, now he gets off it fast, but I don't want us to grab. I want us to just jab and shock and press it. Again, the triple extension, jumping out of our cleats here, right? And this one's always gonna give instantaneous feedback to you. This one. All right, then we'll change up the entry point. I'm a big believer in doing some type of movement into it. So I love starting with a shuffle in because that's more realistic into the game-like situation for you when you're trying to stay clean. And if you got guys who can really shoot it pretty far to get extension, right, you can always add the weight right onto it too. It makes it significantly harder. Okay, here's where it shows up a little bit. Okay, so Jordan right here, right? He's got for us, this would have been a cloudy clear read. He sees it clear, it turns cloudy. The back cuts back. You can see he's just starting to get off our pad, stay clear, find the back. Okay, here's Fred with it. Okay, get an inside zone here. right? Just a quick little get off my pads, stay clear, find the second key, and get it on the tackle. And here's another one with Jordan. Okay, now again, it's just inside zone. It's just a quick little jab and strike to stay clean. All right, so now, we work on hang on it. Okay, so now we're tight quarters on what we're attempting to do, right? We have the center blocking up on us, right? We can't, there's no decide, the back hasn't decided. We're trying to fill it all up with just 6 guys in the core. We're going to, what we call is hang on it. We want to strike and knock it back, right? And fill up the gap and then try to play both sides of the blocker when the ball carrier decide which way we're going to go. All right, so the big thing here is strike. And what I don't like here as much on AJ on this one is you see how his feet get together here, right? We want to still keep a wider base as we're knocking it back, right? So we can still have more power and leverage on it here. You can see that's immediate, right away I'm telling him immediate about it. Let's watch Kyle here, right? Much better base as he knocks it back here. Oops. And again, we'll change the entry point with a shuffle. I've done it also times. I've done a cut ball. I've had them get off the block and then get right into a strike also, right? And then we'll get to our wrist over finish on it there, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, again, we're knocking it back, driving it. I'll give them an escape, and then for me, I love the tennis balls more than anything else for a finish. It's easy to do. It's real simple. It works on their bend. It come together. Open field tackling is what we're emphasizing right here. Okay, so right here we're coming inside out, right? See if we want to bend. And when we talk about bending with these guys, we're not bending at the waist, right? Most of our guys, these guys have never played baseball before, so I used to always tell the guys play like a shortstop, right? So you want to get down low, sink at the hip, at the knees, right, and scoop the ball up, pinkies together on these here, just like you would at an open field on a tackle. And then there's other times you'll see, I think, on some of these clips where we'll bounce the ball. Now it's true open field, and you're accelerating through because you have someone else vicing the tackle from outside in with you. Okay, so Luke here, really good here, driving it back, and then I love the tight wrist over wrist finish. And again, the U-bar is great for us, right, because it gives us instantaneous feedback every single time with it. It goes to the side and it'll come back always. Okay, wrist over wrist, and now we're doing a quick release. Okay, right, we're getting on the block immediately, and the back is deciding it right away. There's no hesitation. We know where he's going. So we're going to strike it. Usually with these guys, I tell them always, hey, we're going to escape to the right. We're going to escape to the left. I'll give them preset on it for right away, early on. Right, so you can see here, we strike, we throw it quick, wrist over wrist, and this is exactly the posture we want that sled to get to every single time with it. And again, good bend for the finish onto it. I never want to see these guys 2 feet hop into the finish there, because that's going to be a missed tackle in the game. So we emphasize, we get into our long stride, short stride tackling. We get a little extra work right here with the tennis balls also. You'll see Hunter now will do it differently. Hunter doesn't have as much weight room power as Cade does. But Hunter is efficient. He's a quick shock, 2 hands press down, and a quick still wrist over wrist. Right? So if the ball's inside, that means we're going to be wrist over wrist. Any downhill runs inside us. Lateral runs we talk about, you can wrist over wrist or you can dip and rip because you have time and space. When it's downhill in the box, you have, for us, we talk always about wrist over wrist and keeping our hips square. I love it with the wrist over wrist instead of a dip and rip on it, because when you throw the blocker and you go wrist over wrist, it doesn't give the blocker an opportunity now to be able to open up still and get on you. Whereas if you throw and just rip, he can still ride your hip out with it because you're not getting your hips through immediately on the throw. Okay, here's a little tighter shot of it. You can see running it back much better with his feet. Quick tight hands, wrist over. Different ways you can do it. You can do it with a point. We've done it at the times where we've had the coach as the ball carrier and just turning his shoulders also, so they have to see the shoulders turning. Again, we'll change the entries. Good throw. All right, here's where it shows up a little bit. Okay, here's weave. Right, strike, right? He hung on it because the back hadn't declared yet. Boom, wrist over wrist. All right, let's watch AJ here on this one. Boom, strike, and he had his momentum already going, so he was able to get the wrist over wrist so fast on it. Now, the only thing I don't like is the hand all the way high up there. We never want to go swimming, right? It's like you're throwing it straight. I'm a big boxing guy. I grew up around boxing on the East Coast, so for me, I use a lot of boxing terms, jabs, right? And then right here, this would be a straight for us. Okay, here's another quick one. Boom, strike. Here's like how Hunter's was, right? Strike and then two-hand pull on it to get it off. Okay, here, let's watch Kate here. Strike. Second key is the ball. Most important thing. What could he have done better on this one here? Do you guys think? Wrist over, right? He kept the left hand back here, right? And then you see how the blocker's able to still stay on him because of that. So this was good to show him how important that wrist over is for him on this play here. All right, steer drill. Okay, so this is now, right, we're gaining leverage, right? We're seeing the ball carrier declare, right? If he declares into my primary gap, now, right, actually this was on the cutback first, perfect, okay. If he cuts back, I'm going to use the blocker's momentum as I'm going by, right, and then I'm going to drop step, okay. So I'm here, I'm here, I see the ball carrier cut back, I'm going to drop step and take the blocker's momentum and still wrist over wrist, keeping my hips square, and get tag off on the finish in the drill here. Okay, so we'll give it both ways. So we'll give the ball carrier the cutback or a press up. If he presses up, right, now it's a lateral outside. Now I can rip and go on it here. That's it right here. So when I was the coordinator at Minot, right, we did what I made us do is I did block destruction circuits. Right, so this was a Tuesday for us everywhere. So one drill was the steer. The next one you'll see primary, secondary, and the pop-ups. Another, right, we were all striking one-man sled on it there. And so that was our 3 circuit drills, and we were rotating around with it because I thought it was really important for us, right, to really get off blocks and be physical. Right, so right here, right, he sees Coach McBride cut back, and now he takes his momentum, throws him by, and now he keeps his hips square for the finish here. Okay, let's watch the next one. Right now, Coach McBride's in front. And now he sees him go. Now we can wrist over wrist or we can rip through. But again, we're taking his momentum and throwing him by us here. Okay, primary, secondary. Okay, so this is off a whistle. All right, so we're telling them right now, right, this is their primary gap, the side that their head is on. So we're on the whistle, right? Our feet are going, then we'll say lock. And they're going to extend and lock out, right? And then we'll say, give them the direction, back to clear. And then you see it all go. So I love the pop-up backs for this because it gives you immediate feedback on how violent your release is. Because watch here, right? Psycho, right, has a great throw. Bag goes. Same thing with Tim here. Bag goes. Watch these two down here. Okay, Zeth, pretty good. And then Blake, bag never gets thrown down to the ground. So right away, we show this clip to our guys, right, in the linebacker room, and we talk to Blake here about his finish here. Okay, again, here's a better angle with it, right? Coach Jay running it. So we're primary. Now it's secondary. Okay? So now we want to drop step, two-hand shrug, pull it down, and wrist over at this point here. Okay, because we're going into our secondary gap. All right, shoot series. Okay? Inside fit. I've done this without the shoot. I've been at places where I didn't have the shoot, but the shoot I think is great if you're able to have one because it forces the linebackers to have to really bend and stay and get their pad levels down for this stuff. All right, so we're going to start here with the cut ball. Okay, so the first thing with the cut ball is, right, they got to keep their eyes above me, so they're still feeling out the cut ball, using their peripheral vision, and they're keeping their eyes on the second key right now, which we're saying is the guy with the shield. So they're going to strike it, right, to start the drill, and then we want to get our near foot in the ground on contact. We want to strike and take. Now we're taking all the stuff that we did on the wall and the one-man sled and applying it right here. And now we're saying you have inside leverage. We're striking, knocking it back, and keep our hat inside for leverage here. Okay, here's Hunter with it. Boom, right. What I don't like here, see his hips opening up a little bit. His left leg is a little bit back. He's losing his power angles at this point. So what we want to see more is get into this type of body posture on our strike so we can control and run our feet. So we have our outside leg, right, is back, and we can joist off that and really press and knock the blocker back. All right. And then we'll go both ways with it. It's just harder to see the other angle with it, with all the equipment. Okay, here's another angle with it. Okay, you can see it. AJ coming nice and low through it, knocking it back, and creating separation. Okay, pour right here. See the drop step? Right? So this gets immediate feedback always with the guys. Right, so we want to make sure we load. Those guys should know to load that foot up because they know what direction it's going. We're not trying to trick them in this drill here. Yep. So we need to keep load up and that right foot push off it. And again, good job keeping the hat inside and striking. And now you can see the second ball the whole time. Okay. Now we'll add the next step to it. We'll say second key outside. So initially we'll have it without a ball carrier, without a runner. And we're going to strike, and I tell them to hold it for a click. So I want to maintain inside leverage. And then I want to visualize seeing the ball carrier jump outside of me. Okay, and then we'll progress with it, and then we'll put a third body back here, and then we'll say he's the ball carrier, and then they'll see him go outside, and then we'll give the ball carrier the chance to keep going or cut back inside with it there. All right, so again, same start every time, strike. Quick click, hold, right? See it outside, fast hands over the top. Good. Hunter, right, better body, right? Needs to stay lower, but again, hold it inside. See it, visualize yourself, the ball carrier taking you outside. Right, strike, hold, keep it for a click, find it outside. Gets too high right at this point. Right, so we got to keep getting our pad level down and underneath on these. Terrible start here by Austin. Right, we got to be more inside and then go wrist over. Here we go. Let's see Bodra here. Good. Good. Good control inside. Hold it for the click. Tight wrist over wrist. Nice. There we go. Now you get some much better here. Again, now you can see now we've added the runner into it. So now the runner will take them either outside or inside, and now they get to visually see it. Okay, jump the double. All right, so for us now, this is when we're the middle backer, right, in a counter situation, right? And they got the deuce, the ace, those double teams are going to have great angles onto us. So for us, we always, in our middle closed spacings, we tell that guy he's got to jump the double, right? So we send the ball back to the backside backer spot. Okay, so for us, we'll move this guy usually up a little bit more so it's even and they have a great angle, right? And the emphasis now is these guys got to get fast over, right? Whether you quickly run over and stack, or the other thing we talk about is quickly give ground to get yourself over. But by one way or another, you have to jump it and get on the front side to send the ball back to the backside backer. Right? And then what we coach these guys up on doing is opening up once you feel the contact and try to widen them out, because that's what good offensive linemen are always going to be coached to do. All right, so you see Hunter plays it different than Cade does. He's trying to give ground on it here. He gets a little high on it, but you got to be, the big coaching point is being fast to get quickly over the top, because you'll see Boone take this very slow on this rep here like he's playing on second key outside. All right, so he's got to be fast and quickly jump over and give ground for him. All right, here's where some of this stuff all shows up. All right, so let's watch Cade here. Here's our middle backer here. All right, here's our double team we're talking about. Jumping fast, over the top, open the hips. Now we're in a spot to make the tackle. We just got to do a little bit better with our feet on the tackle. All right, here we go from the other day in practice. Okay, here's our counter again. Right, now we're going quick over the top. Right, we're trying to shut it down so he doesn't pinwheel and wash us out here on it. Okay, foot fake drill. Okay, so now we've set them up, right? We're jumping. So now they're playing high on us. So now we're going to play the game with them a little bit. We're going to sell high and rip underneath on it there. Okay, here's an instance where it shows up here. Okay, let's watch 27 here. All right, outside zone. Wow, we've been running fast over the top for a bunch of plays in this game so far. Now he sells 72's playing it for us there. Now we sell them high. We can come underneath fast, stack it, defeat the stiff arm, and make a good 2-whistle tackle. All right, our box. Okay, again, I prefer to stand under the chute as much as I can for pad level purposes. Okay, again, so now we'll move over to the side a little bit more. Okay, we're going to straight off the start, and then we're just going real fast, near foot, near shoulder, emphasizing getting low. And I want to get my forearm, my shoulder underneath, and fork lifted up every time. All right, so let's look at. All right, Hunter gets good here. It can be better, right? But staying low, get that foot in the ground before contact. For him, it's that right foot here. Boom, right? You see his feet are too even. We need a stagger on this. It's still near foot, near shoulder, just like tackling. Every time we want to have a stagger, get underneath and fork lifted up. Okay, we just watched this clip, but this is what it's going to look like for us at all times. Right? Sets the hammer in net, and this is how we're able to win counter with just 6 guys instead of having to use the backside backer here. All right. Anything about winning on blocks here? Any questions you guys have about any of that before we go into tackling? All right. So for tackling, right, the big philosophy, right, is always about reducing space and reducing it as fast as possible with proper angles. Okay? We are a head-out tackle, so we are all shoulder leverage when we tackle every single time. Okay? We talk a lot of time about knowing your leverage, owning your leverage. So we did a drill today where we were doing a check-down tackle, right? Which I think there's a clip of it from another day, right, on here, where I told the outside guy on the check-down, right, you are taking the shot every single time. Run across the face, force the cutback to your partner that's coming inside out on it there, on the 2-on-1. Okay, that's part of knowing your leverage and owning it, all right? And then we talk about our strike zone, right? So the strike zone for us here, right, is bottom of the numbers, top of the knees with it. That'll eliminate all the targeting and anything else that we have with it. All right? All right, so some things we look for when we're recruiting guys, right, and tackling, right, is how confident they are and how desire they are. Because I talk with our guys, I get pissed at them in 7-on-7 if they're not bursting to the ball and trying to make a tackle, because I want our guys to make every tackle on every play. I tell our guys, don't anticipate or think anyone's ever making the tackle. We need to make every single tackle. And that was a big thing, like thought process, like Evan Weaver, right? He had 182 tackles in 2019 here with us, right? And that was a big thing. His thought process was I was going to make every play no matter where it was on the field. Okay, and then the big thing we got to be always, when we're going to be a great tackler, we got to be violent at the point of attack and finishing through. Right? Balance and knee bend are very important. Okay, so thought processes, right? We want to sprint to reduce space. Okay, so that's taking the air out. Okay, we want to track the near hip. We're going to wrap and squeeze, and we're going to drive for 5, or we're going to roll depending on what angle we're on there. So if we're in front of the guy, right, it's obviously going to be a drive for 5. If we're on the side or behind, it's going to be more of a roll because we're not in that profile opportunity there. Okay, so different types, right? We have profile tackles, lift tackles, right? Hit, wrap, and roll, and then obviously we have our pursuit with the chase mode. Okay, so I'm a big believer in there's 3 different type of phases of tackling, right? You have the approach, and this is the one that has the biggest missed tackles from all the studies I've done every year, right? Is the approach. Okay, a lot of guys, we over pursue or we break down too soon and give the back a lot of cutback rooms. It's just like one-on-one coverage on the running backs, right? You're taking the air out. You got to reduce time and space with it the entire time. Okay, we got to track the near hip. Take that low angle, keep your hip square, lead with your near foot. Your contact, right? Head has to be up. Explode up, right, and wrap up. And then the finish part we talked about, right, drive for 5. Okay, roll to leverage and lift through the thighs. Okay, you can see here common mistakes. Okay, lowering the head at point of contact. Stopping our feet on contact. Right, poor base. So again, not having a stagger, having your feet square, or having them too tight where you don't have any spot to joist off and really power and lift off of. Okay, sometimes it's too wide with our arms, but I think this is the biggest one here. Poor angle in our approach to the ball here. So for me in the linebacker room, like that's a common theme that's showed up a lot with some of our guys this past year that we've been emphasizing with all of our drills is the approach, taking the air out in different ways. Okay, so again, we're using it to teach proper fundamentals. Right, again, we've talked about this. Okay, knock back tackle. Let's start here with it. So we'll start near foot, near shoulder. Okay, a lot of different ways you can work this one. Okay. All right, you can start about 4 yards apart, have the hand shield, and we're just trying to get that near foot in the ground on contact, wrapping up, and just driving our feet back. This is not supposed to be big violent collisions on this, but we want to emphasize getting the near foot down and knocking it back. Again, here's another way we can do it. Okay, about a 3 to 4 yards of a box here. Again, really tight on the turn, find your leverage. So this is like the special teams drill that Coach Vic was showing you guys that we did in I think it was kickoff coverage, where they were running tightly around the cones. This is the exact same drill right here. Near foot, near shoulder, wrap, finish keeping your head out and driving back here. All right. Now changing the entry point. You tell this guy he can go either to this cone or this cone, right, to work on different leverages with it, but the same thing applies. Near foot, near shoulder, wrapping up and driving it back. Okay, then we'll get back underneath the chute. Okay, we'll start with the cut. Again, I love Trey here, right? You see that near foot on contact, head is out, shoulders running right through, wrapping up, and we're driving it back. Overemphasizing it all. Okay, same thing with Muelu right here. Boom. Really good body posture. I would love to see that right foot a little bit further back on it. But again, we're in the good spot that we want to be. Okay, drive for 5. A lot of great ways you can start this drill, right? All right, you can start with the hand shield to make them strike the hand shield and escape wrist over wrist. Start with a cut ball. You can do an up down, or you can have them start just straight running into it too. But we're using the blaster here, right? And we're using the 2 agile bags, right? And we're holding them up, and they got to strike, grab it, and you see the big thing here. The hands got to get around and squeeze it really tight because those little bars, right, are going to knock it. You can see the bags start moving, and we don't have a great tackle at this point. How strong your hand's going to be. All right, so we want to keep the bag squeezed really tight together here. Yeah, right here, this one here, I started off with the strike, wrist over. Boom, tight, keep it nice and tight. We're running through with it. Oops. And again, right here, another time we start with the cut into it. Again, pour right here on the bags, right? See how they're sliding on each other. Right, so now that gives us, again, more instantaneous feedback on how good our tackle was in this case. All right, we'll go pit tackle. Again, you can do it and start off different ways. Again, here we're starting on a strike. Okay, running through the blaster. All right, finishing through onto the cross mat. All right, really good tackle there with Muelo. Okay, again, start with a couple. And then you can do pit tackles again. Right, just take with straight takeoffs onto the cross mat. But the big thing, right, driving our feet, bringing our hips through, right, and working on the finish onto the cross mat. Okay, eye openers. Again, I've done this with agile bags. I've done this with cones. Again, this was part of our tackling circuit up at Minot that we did. So we did a block disruption circuit. We did a tackling circuit, and we did a takeaway circuit. So that was our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice. I started our defensive indies always off with a circuit for us to work on the fundamentals. So we're just on the back hip the whole time, right? He turns up, he gets vertical. We get vertical through. We wrap up, and we want to stay near foot, near shoulder, on the back hip, driving back. Right? We give the ball carrier the autonomy to pick which one he wants to go through. Okay, sled tackle. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Okay, so again, a little bit closer angle, right? Again, we're striking near foot, near shoulder. Again, I don't want to be square. It's a fine balance you got to find here on this one. Okay, I don't want to be directly head up on you, but I don't want to be on the side, because if I get on the side of it, the thing starts turning, and then you're not getting the effect of the tackle. I want to get thick, like 3/4 on them, wrap up, and I want to drive it back for at least five hard steps before I then go to the ground with it. And again, get the hands around it is one of the biggest things too, so you can for the squeeze. 2 whistle. Okay, so we'll start the first whistle on this one. I like to keep them really tight on the numbers here. Okay, first whistle, right? We're going to strike and wrap up. Second whistle, now the ball carrier, okay, he's going to try and spin off of contact like a running back would. Okay, so he's going to spin off, and we're trying to squeeze him to us while we're running our feet back the whole time on it here. All right, the big thing for the tackler, squeeze and keep your hips square. Don't get your hips turned so that he can fall off on you. All right, we will also do this, right, with the cut ball as the start too. All right, defeat block batting practice. Love it. Here we go. Same thing. All right? All we're doing is starting on the cut ball, so when he gets the cut, this guy has to keep it really tight off the coach here, and we're going near foot, near shoulder on the finish. All right, you see how tight Colt is on this on the tackle here, as the ball carrier. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so here's some times where it shows up. Okay, so let's look at Teddy here. All right, so this is going to take a few things. So this is get off my pads, stay clean, and now I'm running and driving through the ball carrier. All right, here are 2 whistles for Cade on this one. Boom. Get off my pads. Keep myself clear. That just 6-inch jab right there. Squeeze. Squeeze him to him. Don't let him spin off you. Okay, AJ with it now. Boom. Squeeze. Squeeze him too. Don't let him spin. Take him to the ground. Okay, here's another shot with Fred. Outside zone. All right. Now I'm going to run through that near hip and explode on contact on it. Okay, here's Bodrick. Right. Second key with it. Again, good to see the squeeze of the hands. This is everything we've been emphasizing in all the drills, right? With the sled, right? With the agile bags. And you can see now we're driving our feet like we're going through the blaster right now. Again, outside zone with him. He's eliminating time and space, right? Running near foot on contact in the ground, near foot, near shoulder. Ooh, same thing. Running his feet, driving through, running on contact with him. This is Malello. This is Coin. Okay, watch Coin's hands on this one now. Okay, boom, you can see the squeeze of the hands, cinching him to him the whole time so he can't spin off. Okay, Weaver. Boom, cinched, right? So right now he's got to get his right hand further around it, so keep him to his body so he can't get spun and turned on this one.
Who's been your best tackler?
Evan has been the best one. Jordan was really good. AJ at UNLV was 3rd in the nation the year I was there with him. So he developed into one really fast with it. So I would say Evan and AJ would be the 2.
What about Fred?
Fred had a lot of good tools, yes. Showed up a lot. Okay, leverage tackling. Okay, so now we're out in space a little bit more, right? We got to own our leverage. So some stuff we work here, right? Physio ball, right? We saw this in the special teams drills. Okay, long stride into a short stride. So for me, I prefer to do it on the white line. because it forces them to have to run down that white line on it instead of drifting towards where they know the ball is going to be going to. Okay, so they got to run, and then we're going to go short stride. So, right, he's long, short, and then I want to get near foot in the ground, love it, bending over, and then we're picking the ball up on a 2. What I've started to do, which I need to get video of, is long stride, short stride with the tennis balls. So you guys saw how we did the tennis balls with all the sled stuff. We're doing that also now with long stride, short stride down the line with it. Okay, banana tackle. This has been the main one we've emphasized significantly this offseason with us. Okay, so we're going to start on a whistle. Get in a back pedal. He starts it with the back pedal. Now the second whistle happens. He's going to transition. We want him to go straight down and then like a banana curve at him and pressing the near hip the whole time. This guy goes on the second when the second whistle happens. All right? So he's running as if he's running a swing. We're pressing the near hip, right? And we're telling him we're using the sideline as our next defender. All right? We're trying to take the air out as fast as we can. And if he wants to cut back, he's going right into our chest every time. Okay, so here with Kate, right? I don't love this part here. See how he's going? His first step went wide on 45. I want him to come downhill first and own the inside more. And then keep pressing through. And then right here, right? He doesn't need to gather this far away. He needs to keep closing the space. He can make up for it, right? Because of his quickness and burst. But for other guys, right, we over detail and emphasize it significantly. Okay, right here, we're good. Same thing here. I think this is Marcel. Yep. Marcel, right? Downhill and then peel it off. There's a good angle with it. And he comes downhill first, and then he sees, hey, I'm not going to beat it here, so then I have to change my angle and work high now to get to it. All right, back him up to make more space for it. Again, good angle by Jordan. Again, back then, initially, right, we were a palms up operation. Now we're all palms down. Okay, again, we can change the start. Right, you'll see on this one it's a shuffle. I think there's another one coming, right, where we're going to do a crossover on it. Okay, emphasize we're getting, right, a catch on the flat there. Okay, and then put it on. Okay, one-on-one leverages. Okay, so now we tell the ball carrier, right, he can pick any cone around he wants to. And then we'll tell the tackler which one we want to go around. But whichever way you go around it, you now are owning the ball carrier on however you see it. So on this one here with weave, okay, he went to the middle one. Perfect, good. He is now a left shoulder tackler. Right here is the sideline. That's his defender he's going to work with here. So now we're going to be staying left near foot, near shoulder. And we're finishing through, right? And then for us now, what we do is everything's on a tag off with it there, okay? We're not just running by it with the leverage. This was middle of the season at that point. Okay, buddy tackle. Okay, now we're on a 2-on-1 vice. So I'll give the guys directions. I'll say, hey, we got 2 cones you're going to go to. He's going to run around here. He's going to run around here. Then he has to keep it now on his left shoulder. He has to keep it on his right shoulder here, or however the ball carrier comes out. So now he's left shoulder. He's going to run, and he's going to rip across the face there. And he's cut and make the wall. He's going to close really fast and track the near hip on it, knowing that this guy is not going to be able to expand on him there. Okay, we went outside here. Now it's a double vice on here. Right? Again, we're both getting there really fast. Right? Right shoulder, left shoulder. Okay?
So is the emphasis there on the leverage itself?
Yes, this is all about leverage.
Okay.
Yep. Now, we've evolved it now this spring where we're emphasizing the leverage and we're adding a finish component to it also. Where we're making sure we're down, the second guy is down, near foot, near shoulder with the palms down on it. And then the first guy is still finishing, ripping across, setting the wall. Okay, we've done it with a physio ball also. Right, when we're short on bodies, you can see we only have, 6 guys here. All right, so we're trying to save the legs a little bit. All right. Yeah, we'll change the angles for them on where they have to find it. Okay, our 5 cone. Okay, now we're in tight quarters again. We're on the finish here. Okay, so again, these two have their cone. He can go to any cone he wants out of the 3. However they come around and see it, right? They have to get the lever. So he's the left shoulder. He's the right shoulder. And now we're working on the finish on the double on it there. Okay, 5 cone vice. Okay, I like this one a lot, right? If you guys are at a practice bar where you're going to see this one incorporated. Okay, we're shuffling off the hands, and then we're driving to either of the 3 cones. So both guys go to the middle cone. They're both going to vice it. Near foot, near shoulder, finishing, knees bent, palms down. Now, what we've changed since I've been at UNLV on this, you'll see on the outside ones. Okay, is if they go to an outside cone, right? So say we said we picked this cone right here. This guy who's the closest to it, he's going to run and rip across the face there, right, and set the wall. This guy, he's going to run and finish on the cone, near foot, near shoulder, and finish with the palms down on the finish there, right? So here, right, we're coming to a finish again. We're on the middle cone, so we're both on the vice. And then we can give a redirect on it. Right? He's trying to cut back and regain the leverage to the middle. We're still finishing the same way. And the big coaching point with these guys, don't cross the white line on the finish. Okay, run gather. Okay, I think a lot of people do the run gathers, right? Okay. We're fast, long stride. When the hips are going, he starts to sink the hips. We settle down and shimmy our feet. We get to our short strides, then we're finishing right off the back hip with it. Okay, our gator tackle. Okay. Is again, we're in the finish. We're in a chase mode. We're not going to be able to get high on them on it. So now we're going to go last resort. We're going to dive, wrap the legs, and roll away from contact. Okay, our donut crossover front. Okay, so now we're going to cross over and settle. Again, you can do it with the shoe or without a shoe, whichever with it. Right, we're going to roll it now. We're in front. Again, now we're taking our shot, and the ball carrier wants to try and outrun us on this. So now we're running right through, right? And this is a right shoulder finish on this part. Okay, then we'll get it from the back side of it now. Okay, so now, again, we're crossovering. Settling, now we're going to attack the back hip of it as we're tracking it, taking away the space. All right, check down. Okay, so this is one of the ways we did it earlier. Okay, so I'll get these guys into their drop. And they're going to settle, right? And then I'm going to throw as if we're doing the check down. And then we got a vice. So he's ripping, right? He's keeping this thing on his right shoulder. He's taking the air out, keeping this thing on his left shoulder the whole time here. All right, and then we got to get just a better finish. Now I think he's avoiding the contact that's about to happen. And here's the other day. All right, again, this is stuff we've done in our match drills this offseason with it. All right, we did this one today. What I did earlier today with these guys, I backed the runner up about 5 more yards over here to give more time and space for this guy have to really rip across, him to track out. We had a few missed tackles last year on similar drops like this, so this is something I'm working to emphasize this spring here with our guys. All right, so you can see Hunter, right, owning his leverage, coming up and trying to set the wall and set the shoot, right, and letting Kay just go pursue inside out on it. Again, BJ, good rep of it here, right? He's setting the shoot. Ball carrier's going to try and outrun him. We're going to change our angle where we're going to go cut right through. So this is going to be a major blow-up tackle in the game. We're going right through the thigh and the knee here and on the ball carrier. So that's what it's going to look like with it. Okay, here's some examples of the tackles. Okay, so here's our check down, right? There's check down. Right shoulder, left shoulder. Looks like a few of the drills we just did. That's what's Beaudry on this one. Okay, alright, sideline. I'm going near foot, near shoulder. I'm taking the air out. Banana tackle right here. Use the side, long stride, short stride, finish through. Alright, banana tackle now. I'm pressing the near hip, taking the space, trusting that, hey, the teammate's my sideline there. Set the wall. Alright, same thing with it. I'm running and I'm thinking mentality wise, I am making every tackle on the field. And this is exactly our banana tackle drills, our leverage drills that we're working on.
Good, we got a 5-minute warning.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. Good. All right, here's our check down. Now we're using the sideline as the guy who's sent the shoot for us. All right, so what could he have done better right now?
Get to the ball.
Yeah, right. See how he gets on his heels here, right? With it, keep taking the air out. Force a great collision or force the guy out to run out of bounds. Good. Right, inside out. Keep pursuing. Keep pursuing. Track the near hip, and then this is our wrap and roll on the finish there. Boom, there it is. Awesome. Any questions on our tackling or